Rain hammered the glass entrance of K-Tech Capital, Seoul's most feared investment empire. Employees scattered when Kang Min-ho walked past, tall, sharp-jawed, expression colder than winter steel. Investors called him the Ice CEO. Reporters called him the man who never loses. Today, however, something unusual halted him. Right at the gate, a tiny girl around 7 sat on the wet pavement, clutching a torn backpack. Her hair was soaked, her lips blue from the cold. Yet, she stared up at Min-ho with unsettling calm. Most children cried when abandoned, but she didn't. "Move her away," Min-ho ordered his security. But the girl lifted a small card and held it out to him. On it was his name, Kang Min-ho, handwritten in perfect Korean. Min-ho froze. No one knew he was returning early today. "How do you know my name?" he asked, voice low. The girl blinked, like she was confused by the question. "I came to repay my debt," she whispered. "You saved me before. You just don't remember." Security exchanged puzzled glances. "I have something for you," she continued, opening her backpack. Inside wasn't a toy. It was a folder containing confidential market predictions for companies that hadn't even announced anything yet. Min-ho's heartbeat kicked. Who was this girl? And how did she know the future? Kang Min-ho's veins pulsed as he flipped through the documents in the girl's backpack. Stock names, timelines, and exact profit margins. Every detail stamped with future dates. Tomorrow, next week, and next month. "This is impossible," he muttered. The girl stood calmly, rain dripping from her eyelashes. "My name is Aria Blake," she said softly. "Take me home, and I'll make you the richest man in Asia." Min-ho scoffed. "Do you think money is a magic trick?" Aria tilted her head. "No, sir. Money is a pattern. Humans are too emotional to see it." Her voice didn't match her age. It was steady and analytical. This wasn't guessing. This was certainty. The head of security whispered to Min-ho, "Sir, we can call child services." "No!" Min-ho surprised himself with the sharpness of his answer, because one page caught his eye. K-Tech Capital Profit. $10 million in 1 second. The exact minute and second were listed. 10 hours, 32 minutes, and 8 seconds, a.m. tomorrow. His throat tightened. "Where did you get these documents?" "I didn't get them." Aria stepped closer, eyes glowing with eerie confidence. "I saw them." The building lights flickered. A sudden gust of wind slammed against the doors. Aria whispered, "Take me with you, Mr. Min-ho, or lose everything." He had spent years mastering the market, but now the market was standing in front of him, wearing soaked socks. Min-ho didn't sleep. All night, Aria sat cross-legged on the floor of his penthouse, tapping numbers into his discarded calculator like a tiny CEO. She didn't play. She didn't act like a child. She analyzed. At 10:31 a.m., Min-ho stood in front of his computer at K-Tech Capital's private trading room. The entire trading team watched, confused. "Sir, we are about to invest 10 billion won based on the prediction of a little girl?" the head trader whispered. Min-ho didn't blink. "Yes. Execute when she says." Aria climbed onto a chair, tiny fingers gripping the desk. 30 seconds, she murmured. The screens flashed numbers. Stocks climbed, dropped, and stabilized. She closed her eyes, as if listening to something only she could hear. 10 seconds. Min-ho's heart pounded. The traders hovered over the buy button. Aria opened her eyes. They looked like molten gold. "Now," she murmured. The click echoed across the silent room. Boom. Charts exploded upward. Alarms beeped, and the trading room erupted. "Sir, we just made $10 million in..." The screen showed it. $10 million profit 1 second. Traders screamed, hugging each other. Min-ho stared at Aria, speechless. She hopped down from the chair, unfazed. "That was just warm-up," she said. "Now, let's make history, sir." The news spread through K-Tech Capital like wildfire. The mysterious child who made $10 million in a second? Min-ho stormed into his private office with Aria walking behind him, calm as ever. He shut the door. "Aria, who are you?" She sat on his expensive leather chair like she owned the place. "You saved me," she said. So I'll save you. Save him? Min-ho almost laughed. He was the youngest billionaire in South Korea. He didn't need saving. Until Aria slid a stack of documents toward him. K-Tech will collapse in 72 days if you don't fire your CFO. Min-ho froze. That information was confidential. Only 3 people knew those numbers, including the CFO. How do you know this? She tapped her temple. I see patterns, and numbers talk. He stared at her small hands, the confidence in her voice. No child should speak like that. Aria stood and held out her pinky finger. I'll make you the richest CEO in Asia. In return, give me what everyone else refuses to. Min-ho leaned closer. And what's that? A family. The air shifted. Min-ho swallowed hard. Then we have a deal. They pinky swore. Behind the office door, a security guard overheard and secretly dialed a number. A woman answered. Found the girl. The moment Min-ho and Aria stepped out of his office, chaos exploded. Journalists crowded the lobby, camera flashes blinding them. CEO Kang. Who's the girl? Is she your daughter? Min-ho wrapped an arm around Aria protectively, shielding her. Aria didn't flinch. Instead, she whispered without moving her lips. Someone leaked your security feed. The CFO wants you gone. Min-ho clenched his jaw. They pushed through the chaos and reached the parking lot. A black limousine suddenly pulled up, windows tinted pitch dark. The car door cracked open, revealing nothing but darkness inside. A woman's voice drifted out, smooth and cold. Aria, get in the car. Aria froze, every trace of confidence disappearing. Min-ho stepped forward. Who are you? No one answered. Instead, a man in a suit stepped out, flashing a gun tucked inside his jacket. Min-ho grabbed Aria's hand and pulled her behind him. She's under my protection, he said, voice steady. The woman in the car laughed quietly. You don't know what she is. Aria stepped forward, trembling. She doesn't own me anymore. Wind slammed the car door shut, and the limousine sped off, tires screeching. Min-ho turned to Aria. Aria, what aren't you telling me? She whispered, eyes full of fear. She wants my gift, and she won't stop until she gets it. They didn't go home. Min-ho drove Aria straight to the rooftop helicopter pad of K-Tech, away from cameras and away from danger. Wind whipped around them as the city lights glowed beneath their feet. Aria, Min-ho said firmly, you're safe with me, but I can't protect what I don't understand. Aria hesitated, staring at her small palms. When I touch something related to money, I can multiply it. Min-ho blinked. Multiply? She nodded, voice barely a whisper. I turned your dollars into 10 million of dollars because I wanted to help you. I can feel numbers and see them. It's like the universe obeys me. Min-ho was silent, processing what he just heard. Aria continued. The woman in the car? She likes my gift, not me. She adopted me and forced me to use my gift on her projects. I ran away, then I met you. She shivered, and she wants me back. Min-ho stepped closer. You don't owe anyone your gift. Aria looked up, tears gathering. Will you behave like her, sir? No, sweetheart. Nobody protected me when I was young, he said. I refuse to let history repeat itself. Suddenly, boom! An explosion erupted in the floor below. The building shook. Min-ho grabbed her hand. They found us. The explosion rattled the staircase door. Min-ho pulled Aria behind him, shielding her small body. Security guards rushed toward them. Min-ho shouted, Move her to the emergency elevator now. Aria clung to his sleeve, eyes wide with fear. They're here, she whispered. The people who kept me in the dark room. Min-ho froze. Dark room? Aria nodded, tiny voice trembling. They made me touch papers. Lots of papers. Every time I touched them, numbers appeared in my head. If the numbers were good, they smiled. If not, she stopped, biting her lip. Min-ho crouched down, eyes soft. You don't have to finish. I understand. He stood again, fury burning behind his calm exterior. Someone used her like a machine. The elevator dinged open. Before they could enter, a group of masked men appeared at the rooftop door. Hand over the girl, one growled. Min-ho stepped forward, shielding Aria completely. You think I'll give her to you? His voice dropped to a dangerous coldness. Aria tugged his hand. Sir, I can help. He shook his head. You're a child, sweetheart. You don't fight adults. Aria took a small step forward and touched a nearby metal railing. Suddenly, every light on the rooftop exploded into blinding brightness. The masked men staggered. Min-ho whispered, stunned. She's not just gifted. The rooftop turned white with blinding light. The masked men shielded their eyes. Cursing, Min-ho grabbed Aria's wrist. Run! They sprinted across the rooftop, ducking behind ventilation units. Min-ho pressed a finger to his earpiece. Security, lockdown. No one leaves this building without my authorization. Aria tugged his sleeve again, voice tiny. They're not scared of police. Min-ho stopped. Her eyes weren't frightened anymore. They were focused. What do you mean? She pointed at the men. They always talk on the phone. The man with the gold watch, he pays them. He says I belong to him. Min-ho's jaw clenched. The man with the gold watch? Chairman Han? A powerful figure in Korea's underground network. He invests, launders, and controls. No wonder she was hidden. Aria, Min-ho whispered. Why did they want you? She pressed both palms to her chest. I make numbers lucky. Lucky? Min-ho frowned, logic wrestling with disbelief. Aria looked at him and gently placed her hand on his palm. A notification pinged on Min-ho's smartwatch. K-Tech Capital stocks, 17%. In 10 seconds, he stared at her, breath stolen. You just increased my company's value. Aria nodded innocently. Numbers. Listen to me. Behind them, a voice echoed through a megaphone. CEO Kang Min-ho, you have something that doesn't belong to you. The rooftop gate cracked open. Chairman Han stepped out. Chairman Han stepped onto the rooftop, umbrella untouched by the rain, suit spotless. Behind him, 2 bodyguards dragged a metal briefcase. Min-ho, he said with a polite smile. The kind that hides a knife. You found my investment. Min-ho stepped in front of Aria. She's a child, not property. Chairman Han opened the briefcase. Inside lay stacks of signed contracts and a thick folder labeled Project, Fortune Child. Aria whimpered. Han continued calmly. She predicts numbers, lotteries, and stocks. Investors are willing to bid for her. He tapped the folder. She made 4 companies billionaires in a year. Min-ho's stomach twisted. So you traffic children, he spat. Han laughed. No, I collect assets. He snapped his fingers. One of his men grabbed Aria. She screamed and cried. Min-ho, sir. Min-ho charged, punching the guard, ripping Aria free. Another guard swung a metal baton at him. He took the hit, shoulder cracking and teeth clenched. Han raised his phone. If you don't hand her over, I'll bury K-Tech Capital in lawsuits by morning. You will lose everything. Min-ho wiped blood from his lip, eyes blazing. I'd rather be bankrupt than be a monster like you. Han smirked. We'll see. Suddenly, a helicopter spotlight flooded the rooftop. CEO Kang Min-ho, step away from the girl. It wasn't police. It was the media. Someone leaked the story. Blinding camera flashes hit the rooftop. Reporters shouted from the helicopter speakers. Breaking news. Chairman Han accused of child trafficking. Chairman Han froze. A second helicopter appeared. Government seal on the side. Agents descended by harness, forming a barrier between Min-ho and Han. Chairman Han, the lead agent said, you're under arrest for human exploitation, identity fraud, and illegal asset acquisition. Han turned pale. You think you can take her? She belongs to... Aria stepped forward. She wasn't trembling anymore. I belong to myself, sir. Everyone went silent. She reached into Min-ho's coat and pulled out his tablet. With tiny, steady fingers, she typed a sequence of numbers. Markets shifted in real time. K-Tech Capital stock skyrocketed, plus $10 million in 1 second. Gasps erupted. Reporters filmed, screaming headlines into microphones. Min-ho knelt down beside her, voice breaking. You don't have to do that for me, little one. Aria looked at him, eyes full of pure innocence. You saved me first, sir. Agents cuffed Chairman Han and dragged him away while cameras flashed non-stop. Min-ho scooped Aria into his arms. You're safe forever now, sweetie. Aria rested her head on his chest. No more factories? She asked gently. No more factories, he replied. He carried her toward the rooftop exit away from chaos, flashing lights, and greed. Just the two of them. A family born from fate, not blood and not power. Riches didn't save him. Aria did. The moral lesson of this story is that blood doesn't guarantee love, and care, actions do. You can become a family through protection, care, and sacrifice.